Hi and hello, welcome to the video. Today's video we're gonna wrap up all the books I read in April. A little disclaimer though, this video will be taken on 2 different days. It's currently the 24th of April, so I still have 3 books. But this video is going live on the 1st of May. So what I read from now until the 30th will be recapped on the 1st of May, and then this video will go live. So here it is, the first part. And so far I have read quite a few books. And most of these were digital, so I have like 7 physical books that I've read, and then a shit ton of digital ones. So we'll just go from the first one I read to where I am now. Grab a drink, grab a snack, it will be a long one. I started off this month reading Embrace by Belle Capra, which is the 4th and final book in our Of the Eye series. I read it as an arc. I rated it 4 stars, and it was an amazing book. And I hope she will bring more, I wouldn't say more in this book, but I hope she will be writing other books as well, because Chef's Kiss. It was Chef's Kiss. I don't want to say too much because it was an arc, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody else. So it was a 4 stars, and I cannot wait for August, so that book is released. I get the arc at NetGalley, so if you want to know how that works, go to NetGalley, sign up, and you can read arcs if you get picked. With that being said, the second book I read was Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I was doubting this book. I was doubting it because I saw, from the moment it came out, I saw people hating it and being like, why is Rising from ACOTAR being mentioned so much over the course of this book? And in the beginning it icked me out, I will say. In the beginning it was like a 2 star. And then it continued on, and I gave it 4 stars at the end, because I think the ickiness that I felt in the beginning was slowly getting better or going away, and the characters got more to them, and the storyline was evolving, and that's why I ended up giving it 4 stars. I think the part about Alzheimer's done pretty well. I have no experience with Alzheimer's whatsoever, luckily. I do know people that have it or have it in their circle, and I can imagine that. But I think this was done right, so if you want a book that follows that topic, this is the book. I read multiple books about Alzheimer's, where Alzheimer's is like a topic in the book. And every time I felt the same thing about this book as the other books. So Abby did a great way in writing that particular part in the book. I think the characters got better, the writing got better, but I wouldn't say that was my favorite book ever. But I kind of want to read The Night We Met. But I do know there's like a cheating trope in it. I saw someone I follow over on other social media read it, and she was like, there's a cheating trope. She is getting with his best friend, or the boyfriend's best friend, and her boyfriend is depressed and everything, and in therapy, getting better. She's just going off with his best friend. So I don't know if I will ever read it, but that's what I said with Say You Remember Me too. And I liked it, so I might in a year pick it up. Then I read The Fucking Wrong Number and The Fucking Wrong Guy. I rated The Fucking Wrong Number 2 stars and The Fucking Wrong Guy 2.5. It's not worth your time to read them. I was like, oh, ice hockey, dark romance, 2 of my favorite tropes. Is dark romance a trope? I don't know. But I like the subgenre that is dark romance, and I like the trope ice hockey. So I thought that was the perfect mix, but these men, I couldn't handle them. I couldn't stand them. They were too obsessive. Like, you're a teenage boy in college. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? No. And that's all I'm gonna say. Once I finished The Wrong Fucking Guy, I saw that. I put up a Convented, and I saw that quite a day later. So I'm happy it's out of my sight. Yeah. Then I read Delicate Escape. I do have the book here somewhere. Did I get this by Catherine Cowles? I rated this 4 stars. It's a small town. It's a standalone series, but they're interconnected. It follows a small town, and it's amazing. You follow Shepard, and what's his name? I don't know. I'm very bad with names. I think it's Thea in this book. Yeah, Thea. Shepard and Thea. And, you know, Thea, they all have trust issues and blah blah blah. But it was an amazing book. It is a little bit of suspense. Mystery suspense in this book throughout the romance story. It's mainly a romance book, but it follows as a plot that is mystery, thrilling, suspenseful. You want to know what happened. Because, you know, obviously there's stuff going on. I really liked it. I liked the found family in this book and in this series. So I read this one. I think I also read it in a video. I don't know. I read it in a video, I think. Same as Say You Remember Me and the Picking Wrong Number and the Picking Wrong Guy. Read the first video. I will link the video somewhere up here. So yeah. If you want more, I will go in depth of these books in those videos. Because right now, I suffer amnesia when I finish a book, and I will forget about the whole book quite literally a few seconds. But I do remember I really liked it. Then I read Beautiful Fiend. I'm pretty traumatized by this book. I found it vintage, and I knew getting this like new, it was like 20 euros, and I found it vintage for 5, and I was like, free shipping. So I bought this for like pretty cheap. But Beautiful Fiend by Lola King. Oh boy. Oh boy. It was a 3 star. I really debated between a 2 and a 3. Just because there are topics in this book that obviously is a dark romance. Obviously you know there are gonna be topics that we follow. And I don't know. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the book. And for me saying that is a lot. I don't know. I was interested in the plot a bit, but even how it starts. It starts with literally him pushing her to his... It's like a prologue, and it starts with him pushing her to her knees. I know. Kind of sexually assaulting her, doing stuff against her will, and everything like that. No. No. I was highly debating on maybe reading the second book, because I heard other people say it was better than the first book. But I don't think I will ever continue. I think I will DNF this book and this series. Oh no, not that. I will definitely DNF this series. I have no interest whatsoever to keep on continuing. With that being said, I read also Children of Fallen Gods, and I must say, for how thick this book was, I read this pretty quickly. I read this book in like 3 days. And mind you, in those 3 days I had a concert. I was going to Amsterdam for that sad concert. I started this on a Tuesday, or no, that's lying. I started this on a Thursday evening, and I finished it on a Saturday evening. 3 whole days. I don't know what was put into this book, but I was obsessed. 3.5 stars. I liked it. You might think, people are obsessed with it. Why is it so low? For a book this thick, there was not a lot happening. And I wish there was more happening or thinner. But on the other hand, it was also needed for like the world building. It was needed, so you knew what's going on, why the things were going this way instead of that way. I don't know, but I want to continue the third book and the last book in this series next month. It's like one of my priority reads in May. I think that might be the first book I read in May, because I want to start off May with my thickest books. So that's out of the way, zeg maar. Oh, zeg maar. You know, so it's out of the way. Then I read another arc, which was Fox by Paisley Hope. It's a dark romance. It's a small town biker romance. I gave it 4 stars. If you want to know that whole review, it's over on my Instagram. Also a link down below. But I gave 4 stars. It's an arc, so I don't want to go into depth about the plot, but it comes out in July. And I'm very grateful that I could read it, and I liked it. I truly liked it. I was a bit scared because I didn't like the first 2 books all too much. they were in the same series, but Fox liked it. Like the characters, the characters were great. I felt this female had a backbone, and that's what I missed in the first 2 books. But I really liked her. So the 14th of July, that's when Fox comes out. Keep your eyes out. It is worth the time. Then I have Chasing the Fire, also by Paisley Hope. Fun fact. I don't know, but Chasing the Fire was coming out the day before when I was reading Fox. So I was like, oh, I might just read it as well. Also read it digitally. If I rated Chasing the Fire also 4 stars. I really liked it. There was a sick of an accidental pregnancy in the book. It was done right. And I love it when accidental pregnancies are done right in the book, because sometimes it goes either way for me. But it was done right, and I really liked it. And how they worked it out, I don't know. It was just, he knew he was going to be a father, and he stepped up. Like, what can I do? Do you need help? That's amazing. I love when stuff like that happens. Then I read one of the most devastating books I read last month, in this month, which was Project Hail Mary. I rated it 5 stars, also in one of my videos. But if you follow this man who gets into space, he doesn't know what happens when he wakes up in the spaceship, and you follow back and forth timeline where he gets like his memories back. So he flashes back to before he went to the spaceship to where he is in space, but there's something happening in space. Something is eating the sun. And between then and 30 years, the world will be colder by like 2 or 3 degrees. But that would also mean they would starve. So 3 people were sent up there to figure it out. And I don't know. I highly recommend it. Yeah, it was an amazing book. I highly recommend. I annotated it. I went to the movies with my boyfriend to see this. And I got this book right before we went to see the movie. And I was like, I know what I'm gonna do when I'm at home. And I'm gonna annotate it. I like it. Like, oh. If you haven't watched it yet, immediately go to the theater. I'll watch it. It was an amazing book. An amazing storyline. I think I watched like 50% of the movie blurry. I was crying my eyes out. But with that being said, I also read Broken Harbor by Catherine Cowles. This is the 3rd book in Sparrow Falls, and here you follow Cope. I always want to say why is the female name not in the back? And Sutton. Cope and Sutton, and this Sutton, I don't know. Yes, and you follow them. And Sutton is a single mom. And I love it when there's a single parent, either a dad or a mom. I don't really care, but I love it when the male of the other main character is like, I will do anything to protect you guys, so we're gonna help. And Cope, he is a ice hockey player, and he's this big ice hockey player. He goes back to the small town. Something happens with him, his brother and his dad. They died. So he's also grieving that, and then other stuff happens in the book. I don't know, I feel like they were meant to be for each other. And there's like this quote in the beginning of the book that says, I don't know exactly what it says, but like, I love you more than bees love honey or something like that. I do think I have it somewhere tapped, but I don't know exactly where. I don't know. I do remember tapping it, but it might also be on my Kindle. Yeah, I don't know. But I gave this also 4 stars. It was an amazing book. If you haven't read it yet, pick it up. It's amazing. Then I read one of my most anticipated releases of the year, which is Daybreak. 5 stars. I got the ARC, but I went to see 5 Seconds of Summer in concert, and I got an email like, you're approved version on NetGalley. I was like, excuse me? What do you mean? I get to read Daybreak earlier, but It was so amazing. 5 stars. I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to say too much. But also, in my TBR, this is my video, or choose my reads. But that video will be going out later in May, so keep your eyes out for that video. Then I read our book club book. So if you're from the book club, you don't want to know what I thought of the book, skip. But we read The Morning Necklace by Kate Foster. But The Morning Necklace, I rated it 3 stars. I was really hoping it would be a 4 star because I really liked it. But then I felt like it was getting dragged. But basically, she gets hanged because she killed her own daughter. She got pregnant. She didn't want to be pregnant, so she gave birth. And then, you know, the child was, the fetus, whatever, wasn't breathing anymore, you know? And people discover that. And then she's sent back to where she originally lived. And then she gets hanged, but she makes... something happens. And she survived the hanging. That's basically how the book starts. That she survives the hanging. And that she is this god. You know, she saw Jesus, you know, she saw the light, whatever. And people want to know. And then you go back to before the hanging. And, you know, the whole journey towards the hanging and after the hanging. And I think after the hanging, it could be shorter. I didn't care for, like, most of the book. But it was okay. It is a historical fiction set in Edinburgh in 1700s. It was fun, but I don't know. If you like historical fiction and, you know, Edinburgh, Scotland, I would recommend, but if you're not too sure, if you want to step into that genre, I would say choose another book. There are better books out there. Then I read Stephen King by Rina Kent, which is the first book in the Royal Lead series, which is the first generation of her books. Like, they're the parents of the God of Malice, the Legacy of God series. I liked it. I'm waiting for August for that book to be published by Penguin. Like, I want that book. I read it. I want to read Steel Princess 2 soon. It was fun. It was like romance. I don't know. There's a college romance, and basically our male character, he is this legacy. His parents are rich, influential people, so people are scared of like him at school. Then we have our other person of our female main character, and she is not amused. She's like, I don't want you here. Why are you here? You know? Basically like that. So, very fun. It was a fun read, and I want to read more. Because I think the second and the third part are about the same couple. I know the second part is like about the couple, but I'm not too sure about the third. But I want to dive into that series as well. Like I said, the first part is originally published by Penguin in August. So I got a couple of months left to read the series, but I do want to read the entire series this year. So that's fun. And then for now, the last book that I've read so far is Beautiful Exile by Catherine Cowles. This is the 4th part in Sparrow Falls series. And I just finished this today. So that's why I was like, okay, I will make this video right now. And you follow, what's his name? Arden? No, that's her name. Arden and her female character Anne. Lincoln, something like that. He is our main male character. And Arden, she is adopted to this foster family. And she saw things when she was younger. Her parents got killed, and she's obviously running for those people that killed her parents. And like I said, there's also suspense, so she's being threatened and everything. And then Lincoln is here and he's like, I will keep you safe. You know, it was a fun book, but I gave it 3.5 stars. So far, it's my least favorite in the series. But just because I couldn't connect with these characters. I was in and out of the story. I couldn't care, or I didn't care. And I was like, I don't know. So I hope Chasing Shelter and Secret Haven are better. And then I can finally read Across the Vanishing Sky, because I was told to read Sparrow Falls first and then Across the Vanishing Sky. And I think the second part of Across the Vanishing Sky is also going this year. So I want to be up to date when that comes out. But if I could read Chasing Shelter and Secret Haven as fast as I read these 3 books this month, I will sign for that. I would. But with that being said, I will see you at the end of the month and we'll chat more about the books that I have read. Okay, so it's the end of April, and that means we are gonna finish my April wrap-up. It's the 30th, so tomorrow we're gonna start reading Our Maid TBR. After I finished filming my video, I started Sinners Anonymous. I got it when I went book shopping. And I don't know what was put into this, but I read this so quickly. And I need the second part right now. But with that being said, I gave this 4 stars. It's a dark romance. And I was in a dark romance mood. I have read so many fluffy, small town, books that I was like, I need something darker and something to take the edge off. And this was this book, Sinners Anonymous by Summer Sketcher. I was looking for the Works editions and I'm hoping someone can find it for me. But I just got the first book because like I want to read something physical, because most of the books I read in April were digital and I was like, I need a physical book. So that's why I got it. And I'm so happy. I saw so much about this series and I saw when it was indie published and it was like, I almost got the indie version like last month and I was like, oh, but these are coming out. I will wait for the published ones. So I read this. This is about 2 people in Sanders Cove. Something like that. They're like in a town and basically she is marrying someone's grandfather for a piece of land. Why she wants a piece of land, this will be said in the book. But the grandchild from the grandfather she is marrying, she falls for him instead of the grandfather. So they're all, you know, secretly doing stuff. That's all I'm saying. And it's dark, it's fun, check trigger warnings, because it's needed for this book. That's all I will say. If you want a dark romance, but that's not too dark, this is a fun one to read. I highly recommend. After that I read My Dreadful Darling by A.C. Galton. I never would have thought I would finish this in April. But I gave this 4 stars too. And here you follow Dread and Reverie. And she is the daughter of a serial killer. And he is the son of the serial killer's last victim. So obviously he's out for revenge on the daughter. And stuff happens and, you know, spicy things happen because one is H.C. Galton and 2 is a dark romance. For this one I will say check those triggers, because even I was like, that's a bit extreme with what was happening. And I know in May the second part of this duet is coming out and I will be reading it ASAP when it's released. But I really liked it. Is it one of my favorite books by her? No, because I think nothing can top the Cat and Mouse duet and everything, like the whole universe. Nothing will stop or nothing will top those books. So that's fun. I will recommend. Even though I was bored at some point because, you know, it's a thick book. Obviously, it's like 600 pages long, and even I was at a point like, can we get going? Because it's getting repetitive. And I was done with it, but still a 4-star, because when I wasn't feeling that I was flying through it, I read this book in 3 days. I don't know what happened there. I didn't know what happened there. It was like, I'm gonna read 20 or like 25% each day, and then, you know, I finished in 4 days. But I didn't. I did it at 3. I'm Max Verstappen. I'm not. We're from the same country though. That's fun. And then as the last book I read is King of Gluttony by Anna Wong. This is the 6th book in the Kings of Sin series. Here follow you Maya and Sebastian. And I just finished this like 5 seconds ago. So that was like, oh, I will not do the update now. So I have time to edit this. And I think this was a fun book, and I don't know, honestly I feel with books by Anna Wong, I'm flying through them, but with this book I felt like something was stopping it. You know, it wasn't flowing. It was fun. I would highly recommend if you like the other books. It was fun to read about, they were fun to follow, but I think around the 60% I was like, okay, something needs to happen now or I will be bored. You know, obviously sometimes you have that books will be going a bit slower at points and a bit faster, but this was like, yeah, I was going this and then a long time like this and then I went like this again. So it was fine. It was fun. And I'm gonna be waiting for the 7th book. And then I'm gonna be happy that if the 7th book is out and I read it, because I finally finished the series. Because I've been waiting for 4 years then to finally finish a series. That's insane. But we love Anna. And I'm keeping my house out for The Keeper. That's coming in October. And with that all being said, this was my wrap up. Thank you for watching. If you liked, please leave a like. If you want to follow me on my other socials, they are down below. And I will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.